Welcome to Raw History. Here we cut through romanticization and speculation to show you the unfiltered reality of human history. December 2025, and your heating bill just arrived. Now just imagine facing a winter without central heating, without electricity, with nothing but stone walls between you and the howling wind. Yet monks in medieval monasteries across Europe not only survived winters from the 1200s through the 1500s, they created surprisingly comfortable spaces using nothing but architectural brilliance and an understanding of thermal physics that, honestly, modern engineers are only now beginning to appreciate. This is the story of how medieval builders turned massive stone structures into efficient heating systems. The foundation of warmth, understanding thermal mass. Walk into any surviving medieval monastery today, places like Fountains Abbey in Yorkshire or Citeaux Abbey in Burgundy, and you'll notice walls that measure 3 to 4 feet thick. These weren't built this way, for defense or grandeur alone. Cistercian and Benedictine builders, working from the 11th century onward, understood something critical about stone: its capacity to absorb heat during the day and release it slowly through the night. Archaeological surveys of monasteries like Rievaulx Abbey, established in 1132, reveal walls constructed with inner and outer layers of dressed stone filled with rubble and lime mortar. This combination created exceptional thermal mass. During daylight hours, these walls absorbed solar radiation and heat from human activity. As temperatures dropped after sunset, the stored thermal energy radiated inward, maintaining stable interior temperatures. Studies of remaining structures show that properly designed thermal mass can reduce temperature fluctuations by up to 15 degrees Fahrenheit compared to the exterior. Strategic design was at the heart of working with the sun. Medieval monastery plans weren't random, you know. If we examine the layout of Clairvaux Abbey, founded in 1115, or the Cistercian monasteries that spread across Europe during the 12th and 13th centuries, you'll find a consistent pattern. The primary living spaces, especially the chapter house and dormitory, always faced south. This wasn't just about aesthetics or preference, but rather it was calculated engineering. The Rule of Saint Benedict, written way back in 516 AD and followed by countless monasteries, actually specified that monks should consider natural light and warmth when constructing their buildings. Builders would position large windows on southern exposures to maximize winter sun penetration. In summer, when the sun tracked higher across the sky, these same windows admitted less direct light, which prevented overheating. Archaeological evidence from sites like Fountains Abbey in France, constructed between 1139 and 1147, shows window placements that align precisely with winter solstice angles. The cloister, that central courtyard found in nearly every monastery, served as more than just a contemplative space. It actually functioned as a thermal buffer zone. The enclosed courtyard trapped warmer air during the day, creating a microclimate that insulated the surrounding buildings. Excavations at Fountains Abbey in Shropshire revealed that the cloister design incorporated strategic openings that controlled air movement, preventing cold drafts while still allowing fresh air circulation. So, managing air was really like creating an invisible architecture, you know. Medieval builders actually mastered something that modern architects now call passive stack ventilation. If you take a look at the surviving structures of monasteries like Durham Cathedral Priory, you'll notice evidence of carefully planned airflow management. Those high ceilings in communal spaces like the refectory and church allowed warm air to rise and sort of stratify above everyone. And smaller windows positioned near the ceiling let hot, stale air escape, all while maintaining warmth at floor level, right where people actually lived and worked. Some monasteries, interestingly, incorporated modified versions of Roman hypocaust systems. Recent archaeological work at Glastonbury Abbey has uncovered evidence of underfloor channels that circulated warm air from the kitchen fires throughout adjacent living quarters. Now, these weren't full hypocaust systems that needed dedicated furnaces, but clever adaptations that captured waste heat from necessary activities. The kitchen, bakehouse, and warming room really became strategic heat sources, all positioned to maximize thermal distribution. The warming room, or calefactory, definitely deserves special attention. This was typically the only heated room in a monastery, and it was positioned centrally within the living quarters. At Fountains Abbey in Cumbria, architectural remains show that the warming room was placed between the chapter house and dormitory. A single substantial fireplace heated this room, but thanks to its strategic location, the walls shared with adjacent spaces conducted warmth throughout the entire living area. The human element, bodies and routines played a crucial role in monastic life. Historical records from monasteries like Christ Church, Canterbury, reveal that communities often housed between 60 and 100 monks in relatively compact spaces. Now, each human body generates roughly 100 watts of heat. In dormitories where monks slept in close proximity, this collective body heat made a measurable difference. The monastic schedule, with its emphasis on communal gatherings for prayer 7 times daily, ensured these shared spaces maintained a baseline warmth through constant human occupation. Daily routines were, in fact, aligned with thermal management. The medieval day began at dawn, allowing monks to take advantage of the warming daylight. The most physically demanding work was scheduled for midday hours, precisely when solar heating peaked. Evening prayers concluded before the coldest part of the night, which meant monks could retire to dormitories where communal sleeping and strategic location preserved warmth through the darkness. Textile management also played a role. Though it's often overlooked, monasteries invested heavily in woolen hangings and tapestries. Account records from Westminster Abbey in the 1370s document purchases of heavy wool fabrics specifically designated for winter use. These textiles, hung along stone walls, created an insulating air gap that reduced heat loss through conduction. Lessons for the modern world. Today's sustainable architecture movement is, rediscovering these medieval principles. Passive house standards and net zero energy buildings actually incorporate the same thermal mass strategies, strategic solar orientation, and natural ventilation systems that monks perfected 800 years ago. The difference? Well, we now quantify these benefits with precise measurements and computer modeling, but the underlying physics hasn't changed. Your own home likely possesses passive heating potential, just waiting to be unlocked. South-facing walls with thermal mass, strategic window management, and understanding airflow patterns can, honestly, dramatically reduce heating costs while improving comfort. Medieval monasteries prove that low-tech solutions, properly applied, really can rival modern mechanical systems for efficiency and reliability. These stone structures stand today as monuments not just to faith, but to human ingenuity and scientific observation. Medieval builders lacked thermometers and heat transfer equations, but they possessed keen eyes, patient experimentation, and generations of accumulated knowledge. Their success, I think, challenges our assumptions about historical technological sophistication. Hit that subscribe button to join Raw History as we continue uncovering the brilliant engineering and forgotten innovations that shaped human civilization. Share this video with anyone interested in sustainable living, historical architecture, or rethinking modern assumptions. The past has more to teach us than we realize.